All right, first and foremost, give all praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Barakatham. That's the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and his son Hamashiach Yahushua, who the world knows as Jesus Christ. I wanted to talk about doctrines of lust. Doctrines of lust that are plaguing Israel. Doctrines of lust that are plaguing Israel. Can you name a few? Can you name a few? So, I don't know how much we're going to be able to get through in this, but first I want to talk about, you talk about polygamy, and I'm going to do this I'm going to separate polygamy for a separate video, because that's a deep topic, but it is a doctrine of lust. And we have to understand, it's going to lead me into this. We have to understand that polygamy is almost a form of rape. And I know some of y'all going to click off already, but let me explain. Okay, listen, at this point, I'm going to let y'all know also that this is a grown-up conversation. The kids need to be out of the room. You need to have your headphones in. If you're at the workplace, you need to have your headphones in. You need to turn the volume. This is a grown folks conversation, okay? It's a grown folks conversation. Parent discretion is advised. But in the world, when I was in the world, we used to do things like what we call running trains. Okay, and to run a train on a female, a lot of times she had to really, 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 really like you. Okay, or she feared in some kind of way. You got some gangs that gang bang, and they'll run a train on the girl to get her inside of the gang. Now, we don't think that's rape. Because she wants to be in the gang and she wants to do it, but she don't really want y'all to run a train. If she had another option, if there was an option for her not to do that, she don't want to do that. She's forced into that because she wants to get in the gang. So that is rape. And she may be even crying during that thing actually happening to her. I'm gonna give you another example, just casually. Again, running the train, she has to really, 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 really like you to do that. And then you say to her, if you want to sleep with me, you got to sleep with my partner. I can't sleep with you unless you sleep with my partner too. And if she really, 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 really likes you, she would oblige. She would deal with that just to sleep with you because she really, 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 really likes you. But of course, you don't like her that much because you let your partner sleep with her. Anybody that you really love, you really care about, you're not going to let your partner sleep with her. Okay. And so that is kind of a form of rape. You know what I'm saying? You're forcing her to sleep with your buddy because she wants to sleep with you. She don't really want to do that. She feels disgusted doing that. But, she's doing that because she really like you. Now, there's some that, there are some harlots out here that'll run the whole team. They've been bragging about it. The whole culture now is, it's permissible. You know what I'm saying? It's really glorified almost in today's society. So we have to look at that. Now, it's a clip with Bishop Nathaniel. Let's go ahead and roll this clip. I'm going to show you another form of rape.
In America, they tell a woman, be transformed. No, they say be conformed to this world. The women come in Israel, they want to be conformed to this world and say, I'm not in the mood. He go and get some anyway. She go, you raped me. Just, babe, that's not rape. Can you read the verse again?
Yes, sir.
Now, that's rape. You can't, listen, I don't care if y'all married. You can be married and you rape your wife. If your wife saying, no, do not touch me, I don't want to have sex with you, and you take that monkey, you have raped your wife. Okay, and if she calls the authorities and say you have done that and you forcefully took something from that woman, you forcefully took it from that woman, that is rape and you will be placed in jail, sir. And so I get it. We go to the First Corinthians 7. He's trying to use First Corinthians chapter 7 to justify this. And but this is something that shouldn't happen. We can't say that no, you can't do that, because she can tell you no and you better not touch her. But she shouldn't tell you no. That's what Paul is saying. 1 Corinthians 7:5. Defraud ye not one another, except it be with consent for a time, that ye may give yourselves to fasting and praying, and come together again, that Satan may not tempt you. Okay. And even with the you do not defraud each other, except it be with consent. All right, so there has to be that should be some kind of agreement amongst each other on whether y'all gonna do it and whether y'all gonna not do it. Okay, there should be a consent. We got to place that both ways. There should be an agreement on both sides. If we're going to not do it, we need to both be in agreement. And if we're going to do it, we need to be both in. Again, I'm using myself because this is what I know. I don't know a lot about other people's sex lives and what they did in the world or what they doing now. There was an incident where I had a sister say, well, let's take a break for 3 months or 6 months or something like that. Without doing anything. And, my mind immediately go to, you trying to do something else with somebody else and da-da-da-da-da. But, that was the end of the relationship. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to take that away from me, we didn't have consent. So pretty much we weren't in the text, we weren't in the truth or nothing. So, but this is just a world of relationship. And so, that's what I'm there for. Hey, you didn't want to do that. Okay, well, I'm out. I'm out. I'm not finna do that. I'm not finna do that. Wasn't in consent. But if you just try to go in there, she says no, and you take that. I'm gonna give you another example. I had cheated on this sister. Well, I didn't cheat on her. I got caught trying to cheat on her. And she went through my phone, found the text messages. All right. But I tried to do like the makeup sex, and in the middle of the argument, tried to do the baby boy. And, while we doing it, she starts crying. She's crying in the middle of it. And really, I was raping her. I stopped. When I seen her crying like that, I felt like I was raping her. I felt disgusted. Like, yeah, man, this ain't. This ain't. And then she's still saying, nah, you come on. Like, but no, she's hurt, man. She ain't really trying to do that. She needs to heal, so forth. And it was like I was raping her. And we have to understand that a lot of these sisters don't want to be in polygamous relationships. And again, I don't really want to dive into that but the reality of it is nobody raised their hand for that. We don't have examples of us raising our hands for that. And our forefathers are not for moral compasses. They're not for morality. They're examples of faith. They're not examples of morals. Our forefathers did a lot of wicked things. Okay. Did a lot of wicked things. And ultimately we should be following, when Christ comes back and he corrects certain things, as like he said, in the beginning, it was not so. That was the example, that we should be using as it was in the beginning. But again, I will do a separate video on that. I just want to deal with the rape doctrine. And polygamy kind of goes into that because these sisters are so bent on trying to get a man. They're so lustful, trying to get a man in Israel, that they're doing something that they really don't want to do. And this is why you're having so many problems with these sisters. This is why brothers have to constantly, if you see a teacher that's always teaching on biblical marriage and teaching on polygamy and teaching on, watch this right here. Watch this next video. Watch this clip. I hit the mic. Watch this clip here with Pastor Dow.
And then you can also throw in, if you choose to be a concubine. Now, the fact of the matter remains, it is the truth. Many of the women who have been birthed and reared and born in this culture right here, you're just simply not good wife material. Now, you could be a good concubine.
So, what are we doing, man? And so what comes with our forefathers also had concubines. And why isn't that into play? If polygamy is into play, why isn't the concubines into play? Why are we dealing with concubines and just picking up these? Like I say, we got some people teaching that we can sleep with any of these other women and treat them as concubines, or we can marry these outside nations. We got a lot of Israelites teaching that also. But what do we do with that, man? You talking about we can sleep with concubines? Right, we can have concubines. But you know why we don't run that? You know why we don't even try to do it? Because most women ain't finna go for that. Sisters ain't finna go for that, man. So the polygamy is more it's more pleasing to the eye. It's a better fruit, you know what I'm saying, for them to look at, to see that it's good, and they'll grab from that fruit rather than you say they're a concubine. But if jokers could really spin that concubine, it's gonna be one with a good tongue to spin what Pastor Dow. Pastor Dow and that straightway truth can spin that thing. I'm sure there's people in there who have concubines. They have wives and they have concubines, okay? And you can get those women to come up there and say that, but we see, the fact that you have to hide these sisters, and the fact that we can't see a happy marriage shows that these things don't work. These aren't examples. We're not using these things as likes, using these things as examples. There's also some Mormons who they allegedly supposed to stop polygamy in the early 1900s, like 1904 or something like that. And it was this dude who had 150 kids, had like 15 wives, something like that, 115, 17 wives, and had 104 children, 150, I think, 150 children. And they was marrying each other, sleeping with and you see these problems also in the text, you know what I'm saying, with, David sleeping, like the sex is marriage. But then you have the example of David's son sleeping with his stepsister, man. And she crying out saying, don't do this thing. Don't do this. Just go ask our father to marry me, man. Just ask your father to marry me. He'll give you to me. But don't sit here and force it like this. Don't take it like this. So she still laid with him, but he raped her. He raped her, man. And this is why her brother, the other brother, end up killing this joker, man. Because he raped his sister. But brothers will sit up there and try to justify that. And that wasn't his wife after that. He told her to leave, man, after he had sex with her, man. So the sex is marriage thing, I deal with that too in a separate one. Also, man, we're going to have 7 wives in the kingdom, man. And these just things for us to think about. We're going to have 7 wives in the kingdom. Isaiah, we want Isaiah 4. But really, the context to this starts in verse 2. Just how we know it's kind of towards the, it's kind of towards the day of the Lord. And it's a wrath that's being sent down. Let's start at Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, the word that Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. Okay. So we just start with that just to show that, this is a prophecy of the last days. But there's a heavy judgment, man, great tribulations that we're going to be going through. And we should, again, start at 2, read the context until you get to 4:1. And, 4:1 is really the climax of that. And then it goes to Jerusalem being purged. But just start at chapter 3, and we love this, 3 and 16. 3 and 16, moreover, the Lord saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and walking or twinkling with their feet. Therefore, the Lord will smite a scab Okay, smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord will discover their secret parts. See, a lot of us teach that this is now, and this is why the black woman's hair don't grow. Okay, but this really is a time of tribulation, a great time when the Lord shall return. And it's going to be a great tribulation that's going to be down on Jerusalem and Judah. Verse 18, and in that day the Lord will take away the bravery and the twinkling ornaments about their feet and their cows and their round tires like a moon. The chains and the bracelets and the mufflers, the bonnets and the ornaments of the legs and the headbands and the tablets and the earrings, the rings and the nose jewels and the changeable suits of apparel and the mantles and the wimples and the crisping pins, the glass and the fine linen and the hoods and the veils. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink. And instead of a girdle, a rent. And instead of a well-set hair, baldness. And instead of the stomacher, a girding of sackcloth. And burning instead of beauty. Okay, shame instead of beauty. So we're seeing that these women, they stinking. Their hair is bald. They're dealing with baldness. And it shall come to pass that. Verse 25. And thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war. Watch this. And her gates shall lament and mourn. Who is her gates? Her gates. Her gates. Do the woman have gates? Does a human have gates? Okay, and so we got to deal with that. It's some symbolic speech here. It's a metaphorical speech here. Her gates shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate. Okay, is a woman desolate? So the she here is talking about Zion, but again, this is metaphorical speech. This is speech about, man, I'm gonna do y'all so dirty that let me just finish off. 4:1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man. She desolate and sit upon the ground. Verse 4:1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name, and to take away our reproach. And in that day shall the branch of the Lord be beautiful and glorious. And then it goes into the repairing after that. But, the chapter kind of been chopped up a little wrong here. These things on strolls are really not chopped up, but that 4:1 should have been probably still part of chapter 3. It says, and in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Why are they saying they got to eat? We will eat our own bread and eat our own apparel? Because the men have been killed in war. If you read the chapter 3, read chapter 2, you'll understand that there aren't going to be no men there. The men are going to be few. And so, these women will cleave, but it's metaphorical speech. Exodus 21 and 10. And again, brothers use this. Brothers use this to say, yeah, man, we will be, we have, to justify polygamy, which our forefathers were doing. You know what I'm saying? It's just once Christ came and spoke against that, you got to deal with what Christ said. Deuteronomy 18:18. Exodus 21 and 10, it says, if he take him another wife, her food and her raiment and her duty of marriage shall not diminish. And if he do not these 3 unto her, then shall she go out free without money. Okay, and then she could just leave you. If you don't do that, then she could just leave your house. Is brothers teaching that? See, that's what I'm saying. Brothers be picking and choosing. All right, if you ain't providing for that woman ain't supposed to be working. You supposed to be providing. But these women here are saying, listen, man, we'll get our own food. You don't have to do those. Those are your duties as a man if you get another wife. That woman ain't supposed to be working. She ain't supposed to be worried about no food. She ain't be worried about no clothes. Everything should be provided for her. But in Isaiah 4:1, they saying, well, listen, you ain't even got to do those things. Just give us your name. Just marry us. Let us get your name and take away our reproach, meaning, let us have children. All right, that was a reproach for a woman in those days not to have kids, okay? Not to have kids, but a very important point that a lot of us skip over. You're not supposed to diminish that woman's duties, and your duty to that woman is because the women weren't out there getting it like that. All right. You had to be her provider. And jokers get up here and they try to make this whole financial thing. Oh man, all the women can come together. And that's why only a lot of times, people were rich. It was, rulers and things like that. But again, these things always had problems. Also deal with the harlots, man. Brothers talking about you can sleep with harlots. Watch this right here, man. GMS.
But what happened is, these Israelite groups, especially these men, are so emotional, and they're so pussy whipped that they'll tell a man, you can't go deal with a harlot. You can't deal with a prostitute. And there's nothing wrong with that. Many of our forefathers dealt with prostitutes. And there's nothing wrong with that. Many of our forefathers dealt with prostitutes. And there's nothing wrong with that. Many of our forefathers dealt with prostitutes. And they have a problem with that because they've been westernized and they've been pee-whipped.
And come on, man. Like I say, we ain't even got to bring out a lot of precepts on this. I'm just saying these are the doctrines. I'm just exposing the doctrines of lust that Israel has to deal with, man. And yeah, our forefathers did do that. But again, our forefathers are not. He is right. Our forefathers did do that. I think Judah did that, man. And slept with Tamar. I think it was Tamar. When she put on the harlot, she tricked him and put on the harlot's outfit, and he went on paid the harlot, and he wasn't in danger of anything. It wasn't no judgment for that. No judgment was spoken of, but there was a good lesson in that. And again, that can be another class also. But I just wanted to deal with these certain doctrines. We see that Isaiah, just to go back there and really seal that up, Isaiah is dealing with a metaphorical speech in a time of tribulation. 7 women going to cleave to you, but these 7 women are going to be bald-headed and they're going to stink, and there ain't going to be many men. All the men are going to be dead. Okay, and this is why they're trying to cleave unto you. But all of this is metaphorical speech just to show how bad it's going to be for you. It's like, somebody talking, man, I'm going to slap the dog doodle out you, man. Like, dog doodle, I'm going to slap you, but dog doodle ain't going to really come out of you. All right, but it's going to be a very harsh slap. This is just metaphorical speech on how bad it's going to be. Okay, it's not, I don't feel that it's literal. Okay. I wouldn't teach that it's literal, especially when you have things in there like her gate shall lament and mourn, and she shall be desolate. Okay, and that she being Zion, and just the text shifting like that and moving around, that it's a metaphorical speech, and this is also dealing with the tribulation that we're going to be going through. Okay, it's going to be that bad. All right, it's just really, man, I'm going to drag y'all butt, man. Is he really going to drag us? He's really going to tie us to the car and drag you? No, he ain't going to drag you, but he's really telling, man, I'm going to do you bad. And that's what Isaiah 2 through 3 is, 2 through 4 is, and it shouldn't really be taken direct and literal. All right. So with that, I'm gonna say shalom, y'all. It was just something to think about, man. We like you can't be mistreating women, man. Love your woman as thyself, man. And you can't be putting sisters in certain situations that they don't want to deal with. It ain't that they're wicked or that they have a westernized mindset. It's our sisters were jealous of each other. Leah and Rachel battling each other left and right. It's a plenty. Sarah and Hagar battling each other, man, envious of each other. That jealousy was there the whole time because women really didn't want. Did she really want Abraham to sleep? I mean, Isaac to sleep with not Isaac, but Shalakia. It was Abraham. Yeah. Did she really want Abraham to sleep with Hagar? No. No, she didn't want that to happen. But she got in a situation. She was in desperation. All right. And she allowed that to happen. But she didn't like Hagar like that. That was just a desperation move and her a lack of faith. And so you shouldn't take that example and try to use that as, oh man, yeah, we could be da 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 whoop de whoop. You know what I'm saying? So we got to be mindful of that. And a lot of us too feel that these things are going to happen. These 7 wives are going to be in the kingdom. We're going to have these 7 wives in the kingdom. What kingdom? What dispensation? We don't really understand dispensations. All right, we don't really understand dispensation. I think I'll do that on the next one. I'll talk briefly on the next video with that. But shalom, y'all. I can talk about this thing all day. Shalom, y'all be blessed. We'll see you on the next one.